Welcome, everybody, to the NFL Presidential Address. It is week 12. It is Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm taping on Wednesday. I want to wish you guys all a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. I know it's a big thing in America, a lot of family time. I'm insisting, imploring, and encouraging you guys. Bet your games, but put sports on the back burner tomorrow. It's Thursday. It's time to spend with the loved ones. It's way more important than sports. With that said, we got 3 games tomorrow. We're not going to be doing these games because the video will likely go up after some of them have started. We're going to focus on all the games going on Sunday. If you guys have never watched the NFL Presidential Address, basically we're going to go down every single game on the board. I will give you my thoughts and some bets on each game. I do want to mention, if you guys are seeing this before Thursday night, I have a 5% play up on the New England-Minnesota game. Make sure to grab that play. My 5% plays have absolutely been just awesome. I'm on a 4-0 run in these plays. I'm 61% in the last 3 years of these 5%ers. So make sure to get that play, please. And, of course, we have an incredible promotion up that runs till Monday, and that is $69 for anybody's the 7-day all access, $69 for 7 days of plays from any handicapper you want. I encourage you to grab my plays. I'm up big in NHL. I'm up big in NBA. I'm doing okay in college basketball. I've won the last 2 weeks of college football, and I'm going to slaughter the NFL this coming week. Okay, so let's get into it. What is my record so far on the season? Well, I had a mediocre week last week at best. It was a frustrating week. I went 5-6. I actually, I had the over in the Dallas-Minnesota game. I can't believe I lost that play still. And I had the under in the Atlanta game, which was a bummer loss as well. But that's okay. Twice this year, I have had a losing week for my clients, and both times I bounced back. One time with a 10-2 week, and the next time with an 8-1 week. So this Sunday is going to just rock. Okay, guys, let's go. Let's have a sip of water and rock this out. I'm taping at 1:30, and the Canada game starts at 2, so I want to get this over with. Baltimore going into Jacksonville, -4 is the total, is the side. The total, though, has been bet down. It was 44.5. It's now 43.5. And what do I make of this game? Well, what to make of a 13-3 win against Carolina at home. 3-3 in the fourth quarter for Baltimore. Let's just chalk that one up as a bad game with lots of penalties. And Lamar did get sacked 4 times. It's so hard to bet a total in a Ravens game, as they can pass for 94 yards and still put up 23. That was against the Browns. Then they threw for 131 yards and put up 27 against New Orleans. This team is clearly a running team, but Lamar can get just chunks and chunks on the ground. Jacksonville is a running team as well. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has put up 200-plus yards many times this year. But, guys, they've also put up a lot of under 200-yard games, including a 191, a 168, and a 142. Oh, shit. Joe, I got to start that again. Okay, let's get to it. Baltimore going into Jacksonville. Baltimore is -4. The total in this game has been bet down from 44.5 to 43.5, and let's get into it. What do you make of this 13-3 win by Baltimore against Carolina last week? 3-3 in the fourth quarter. I'm just going to chalk that one up as a bad game for Baltimore. A lot of crappy penalties, and Lamar did get sacked 4 times. With that said, I'm not looking at the side in this game. I'm looking at the under. Now, I got to tell you guys, it's hard to bet totals in the Ravens games. Here's a team that runs the ball all game long, and yet they constantly put up big numbers. I mean, they threw the ball for 94 yards against the Cleveland Browns. They put up 23 points. They threw the ball for 131 yards against New Orleans. They put up 27 points. They're clearly a running team, but not like any running team. This is a running team that gets chunks and chunks of yards on the ground. Speaking of a running team, Jacksonville's a running team as well. I understand that Trevor Lawrence has put up 200 plus yards many times this year. But if you look at their running game, in their 4 of their last 5 games, 240 yards on the ground, 191 yards on the ground, 168 yards, 142 yards. I don't see any way to bet this side. The bet for me is on the under, but that does scare me a little. There will be a ton of running in this game, a ton of clock control. And I think ultimately it's going to come down to the red zone. Are there going to be more field goals than touchdowns? I think there will. Both these defenses are top half in the league in points allowed. Both are top 10 in stopping the run, but both are bottom half in stopping the pass. Normally, this would be a factor for me when betting totals, but the Ravens are who they are. They're not going to take advantage of Jacksonville's weak passing D. They're going to run. That's what they do. Jacksonville has gone under 4 times in a row. Baltimore has gone under 6 of their last 7. We're going to take Baltimore and Jacksonville under 43.5. Now we turn our attention to Denver. The Broncos are minus 2.5. They're going into Carolina. The total was 35. It's now 36. I don't understand how the Broncos are favored against anybody, but I mean, I can't bet Carolina here. I want to bet the under, but it's just way too low. I'm passing on this game, guys. Now we turn our attention to Atlanta. They're plus 4.5 against Washington. The total is 43. I am so mad at myself from last week. I can't believe I didn't bet Washington last week. I did take the under in that game, and it did cash. But I just had a bad feeling about Washington last week. I just thought it was going to be a bad spot for them. They were going to struggle, and they didn't, and they just annihilated Houston. But here's the deal with this game. Here's the issue with betting Washington minus 4. Take the Fumblerooski TD away, that late TD that meant nothing in the Philadelphia game that was a complete fluke. And this team has only covered 4 once in their last 5 games, and twice all year. They're a conservative football team who run the ball all game long. They haven't gone over 200 yards in the air in their last 3 games, and they've only got 200 yards in the air 3 times all year. And all 3 times were with Carson Wentz. Atlanta is pesky as hell. What a great coach. And they have really become a tough team to play against. The Falcons are in every game they play, and they too are a run-first football team. In their last 3 games, they put up 131, 153, and 114 yards in the air. Those are terrible numbers, guys. Their D, however, is a problem. But look, if you're going to play anybody with a bad D, play Washington. Washington's bottom 10 in the league in scoring. They're going to run the ball no matter what. They're going to slow the game down no matter what. They're going to be conservative no matter what. Well, what are we going to do in this game? I see a lot of field goals here, guys. I see this game being super close. I want the points. I'm taking Atlanta in this game, plus the 4.5, and I'm taking under the total as well. Before we move on to the Tampa Bay Cleveland game, I do want to just make quick mention. Later on in the show, we'll have Meghan Payton on. She's got some prop bets for you guys. And after her, I will be giving you the 3 best bets of the card. Those are the best bets. Those are not my client plays. But I did well with them last week, 2-1. And I am about to go on a big run. So I would have no issue if you bet the show best bets. So now we go into Tampa Bay and Cleveland. And I think Tampa Bay goes on a roll here, guys. I think this team, them and San Francisco are the 2 biggest buy teams in the NFC right now. They have played like total crap all season, but there are really a few bright spots here. First, their defense is coming around. Holding Seattle to 16 points is very impressive. Seattle's second highest scoring team in the league. Brady is also putting up a shit ton of yards in the air. This team has also finally found a run game, 161 yards last game against Seattle on the ground. All their wide receivers are healthy. Well, Gage is kind of healthy, but he's low on the depth chart. Cleveland, on the other hand, this team's a total mess. This should have been a top 5 D, and they can't stop anyone. Cleveland is the 2nd worst defense in football in points allowed, the 10th worst in stopping the run, and they're middle of the pack in stopping the pass. But man, I hate that this game is going to be played in cold, shitty weather, a messy field. There's going to be a lot of wind. Rain is a potential. But I just don't see how you can take Cleveland here. I'm going to take the Bucs. As I just feel like the season has gotten away from the Browns. Their D can't stop anyone. Their offense makes mistakes all the time. And Tampa Bay has Super Bowl aspirations, and they have a clear path to winning their division. Take Tampa Bay minus the 3. Okay. Cincinnati, Tennessee. Well, we all know what I'm doing in this game. All I do is talk about Tennessee. And I got a long analysis on this one. Man, I'm mad at myself. I told you this earlier. I can't believe I didn't take Tennessee against Green Bay. I had a bad feeling in that game. I thought it was a bad spot for Tennessee. I thought it was a great spot for Green Bay. I was wrong. Not going to let that happen again. Cincy is finally starting to put a run together, winning their last 2 games and 4 of their last 5. They are 1 game back from Baltimore and in a fight with 5 other teams for the wild card. Every game for Cincinnati is going to be crucial moving forward. And don't forget, this is a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. But I don't think this is the same team. Their O-line is not nearly as good as they were last year. Their defense is middle of the pack at best. And they really are struggling to stop the run. Stopping the run is a damn important thing when facing Tennessee. Even though the Titans are going to run away with their division, this team is not going to lie down and die. This team is 1 game back for the number 1 seed, plus their coach is a monster. Their coach is probably the only coach in the league that players are actually physically scared of. The bottom line is I have to take the Titans, and frankly, as long as Henry and their O-line starters are playing, I don't care who is injured or not. This Titans team is scary. Guys, bet them to win it all right freaking now. Plus 2,500 to win the Super Bowl? Plus 2,500? Come on. They just went into KC and almost beat them. Plus 1,200 to win the AFC? Come on. What? The disrespect for the Titans is out of control. Anyway, back to this game. I'm taking the Titans. Also, I've been betting the Titans under all season long, and I've been doing really well with it. But this game is an over game. The number is super low for a Cincinnati game. Cincinnati has put up over 30-plus points 4 of their last 5 games. They're the 3rd highest scoring team in football. I know they won't have the ball as much as normal, as Tennessee is a clock-eating machine, but they'll get their points. And the Titans, although not a high-scoring team, they still average around 20 points a game. I see this game as 27-23, 23-20 type game. I like the over, and I like Tennessee. Houston and Miami, guys, well, I can't bet overs in Houston. I can't bet unders in Miami. I can't bet a point spread that big, and I certainly am not taking Houston. This game is an outright pass. Now we go to Chicago. They're going into the Jets. They're going into New York. They're playing the Jets. The total in this game has been bet down a ton, from 41.5 to 39. The Jets find themselves at minus 4.5 favorites. Now, stop the freaking presses. I like Chicago. I know. What's wrong with me? But guys, if Fields plays, this will be the first time in a long while I suggest betting the Bears. Although the Bears keep losing, they've still have covered 3 games in a row. They've still have covered +4 3 games in a row. And now they face a team that struggles to create separation. The Jets, who are 6-4 in the season, this team could easily have been 7-3, and they could easily have beaten New England last week. The only 2 teams they have put away, Green Bay and Miami did not have Tua. The rest of the Jets' wins have been unbelievably close, and the reason for that is they struggle to score. In the Jets' last 4 games, they have scored 3 points, 20 points, 17 points, and 16 points. They put up 105 yards of total offense last week. They put up 3 yards of total offense in the second half. So what do we have here? We have a Bears team that can score, a QB that will get us a TD with a backdoor wide open against a prevent D. The Bears have scored 24, 30, 32, 29, and 33 points in their last 5 games. I don't know how the Jets are going to keep up. I have to take the points. I don't care about injuries in this game unless it's Fields. I don't care who starts for New York. I don't care. I think Chicago can win this game outright. Take Chicago plus the 4.5. Now we turn our attention to Las Vegas and Seattle. Here come the Raiders. Well, maybe. Look, their season might be over, but this team is not going to lie down and die. And frankly, if they run the table, they are in. Now, I'm not suggesting they're going to run the table, but don't tell them that. Every athlete clings to hope, and they still control their own destiny. Las Vegas is not lying down and dying quite yet, guys, but they do kind of suck. Well, they have a good team on paper, but they just haven't gotten it going. So much damn talent. This team could easily be 6-4, 7-3 on the season. Seattle, what an outstanding start to the year. They're coming off a bye as well. All of a sudden, they're in a dogfight for the division with San Fran, and they have a shot at the playoffs. Look, I really want to take the Raiders here, but they have to earn my money. They are the right play in this game, but I'm going to look at the total. I like the over in this game. Now, I know the Raiders needed overtime to put up 22 last week, but 3 games prior to that, this team, 20-20-0. The 0 I'm just throwing out the window. It's not that great. But when their offense is in rhythm, spell rhythm, guys. Hardest word in the English language to spell. When their offense is in rhythm, they can score. Seattle's the 5th highest scoring team in football. The Raiders, even with a 0 on the board, are the 17th or middle of the pack in scoring. But we know their offense can put up points, and Denver's and Seattle's defense is not really that great. Vegas has the 9th best passing attack, and that includes 2 brutal games against New Orleans and Denver. Defensively, Seattle's the 10th worst team in the league. Vegas is the 9th worst team in the league. Passing D, both are in the bottom half. All of a sudden, 47.5 seems really high than it did even a year ago. But I can easily see a 31-27 type shootout. That's 58 points. That's 10.5 points more than the total. Take the over in the Las Vegas Raiders-Seattle game. Guys, real quick, I want to remind you, 7-day all-access pass is only $69. You can get that for any handicapper you want. There is no promo code needed. $69, 7-day all-access pass. Make sure to take advantage of that. As for the Rams in Kansas City, I'm going to make this simple. The right side is Kansas City in a total blowout, but I don't bet minus 4.5s. I'm passing on this game. Now we got New Orleans playing San Francisco. Man, San Fran looks like an absolute beast right now. McCaffrey's a monster. Their play calling is incredible. Shanahan is an offensive genius. Their O-line is world class, and their wide receivers and tight ends are insane. Do I think they're the best team in football? Maybe. Them, Kansas City, Buffalo, Tennessee, and Dallas. Yes. Not Philadelphia. I have them right out at 6. Yes. I like Dallas better than Philadelphia, but none of that's relevant to this game. San Fran, man. Wow. Throw their offensive numbers out this window as they had a ton of injuries, just a ton of injuries, quarterback mess. They have such a different setup now than they did at the start of the season, and yet still, they're the 8th best passing attack in the league, the 13th best run attack. But guys, their running attack will go from 13th to top 3 when all's said and done. And their defense, 18 points allowed per game, 6th best in the league, 10th best at stopping the pass, 2nd best at stopping the run. There's only one way to bet this game, 31-10 San Fran. I love the San Francisco 49ers. As for the Sunday night game, guys, as of now, I'm passing on this game. I got nothing for you, and I apologize. That's it for the board. We're going to Meghan Payton. Then we're coming back with my show best bets. Stay with us, everyone. Meghan, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Prez. We've made it to week 12. I have 3 plays for you this week. Let's start Chiefs versus Rams. I'm going to take anytime touchdown for tight end Travis Kelce. Patrick Mahomes said in the media this week that he's the best tight end of all time. I'm not going to argue with that. Kelce's had 11 touchdowns this season. He's had at least 1 touchdown in all but 4 games this season. There's a reason why he's amazing. He's really a wide receiver 1. He's got this great speed for his size. I'm going to actually look at multiple touchdowns for Kelce. The line hasn't come out yet, but if the value's there, I'd say multiple touchdowns. He's going up against a Rams defense that's allowing the 17th most points per game. Definitely take anytime touchdown for Travis Kelce. Next up, I'm going to look at Chiefs Rams. I'm going to stick with the over on the first half total. It's at 22.5. Both the Chiefs and the Rams last week hit over 22.5 first half. And the Chiefs are number 1 in yards per game. They're number 1 in points per game. And this isn't going to end here. The Chiefs are also a top 5 first half offense. And look, they are going to be going up against a Rams team. The Rams offense is not putting up much points. They're bottom 5. But if there's any reason to think that this Rams offense might have a little bit of a spark, let's look at the last time these two teams played each other. Very different teams. But back in 2018, the Chiefs put up 51 points. The Rams put up 54 points. It was one of the best regular season games of all time. I like over 22.5 first half points for Rams versus Chiefs. My last bet I'm going to look at is wide receiver Drake London over on his receptions. Lines aren't out, but I'm going to eye 4.5. His line last week was set at 3.5. With Kyle Pitts out, I expect the line to go up, but I definitely expect his receptions to go up. London only had 1 reception last week, but he had 5 the week prior. And this is the chance for London to really show the Falcons why they drafted him. He was the first receiver drafted in 2022, and it's because he's got this undeniable physical talent. He's got great hands. He's got great strength. I expect him to come up to the task. I think he's going to have a big game. I'm taking over 4.5 receptions for wide receiver Drake London. That's what I have for NFL Week 12. It's back to you. Let's go cash some bets this week, Prez.
Awesome stuff, Meghan Payton, and I hope you have a wonderful Thursday with your family. Send my love to Connor, scout for the TCU football team, and of course your dad, Sean. Me and him go back many, many years, even though I've never met him and he couldn't even know, he would does not know my name, but we still go back. Anyway, show best bets. Atlanta plus 4.5, Chicago plus 4.5, and San Fran minus 9. That's it, guys. I have a 5% play up for Thanksgiving Thursday. I have a huge card. I'm rolling in NHL and NBA, doing okay in college basketball, and my college football have won the last 2 weeks in a row. Get my all-access 7-day pass. It's only $69. Other than that, go Team Canada. That's the show. Namaste.